If you've been doing social media for your podcast or any content channel, you'll know it's one of the most time-consuming parts of the process of promoting, taking those videos or audio clips and scheduling them on all the different platforms from TikTok to YouTube to Instagram to whatever. This is what I've been trying to solve recently, and I came across a tool called later.com. And it's actually just really good for taking your clips, whether it's images, audio, video, anything, and posting them. So I thought I'd put together a guide on how I'm using later.com, all the tools in there to promote our podcast. Mainly video clips for me, but this works for just about any types of social posting. So I've got a full guide in here of all the features in Later. Skip through in the chapters if you want to look at any particular bits, but I hope it's helpful for your own social media promotion. Remember, I do tons of content on podcasting and anything content creation. So hit subscribe below if you want to get all the content to help you grow your own content channels. And if you're a podcaster, check out Alitu.com. This content is supported by Alitu, which is the easiest podcast maker app. Call recording, audio cleanup, audio editing, and publishing all in one place. Just go to alitu.com. This is the Later interface. So this is where you start. You've got your calendar. This is basically where the magic happens, because it's where you can schedule in all of your social media posts, create new posts. So I'll take you through this first, show you how I schedule posts, how I think about the calendar, and then I'll take you through all of the other elements. So the media library, the conversations, the social inbox, a bit of the analytics, and the link in bio page as well. So in using Later, I've mostly found that uploading my media to the library first is generally the best idea. So let's go to manage your media, because you can do a bit more with it here. You can upload from Dropbox, which is always nice, but I'm just going to drag in from my folder just now. I've got 4 videos ready to be scheduled. There we go, dragging them in, so that's them uploading now. So this media all then will appear in the library, and I can use it for just about anything from then on. So these are all clips from our podcast we recorded yesterday, all taken from the one episode. So I go back to calendar, I'm going to create post, and you'll see here that you can create one from scratch. You can then select the profiles you want to post to, and you can add media here. But again, what I've found is the best way is to tick the media first. So pick one clip and then click create post, and that pre-populates them, and it saves a bit of confusion around all the different formats and stuff like that. So then again, you can select or deselect different formats, and I can select a date. Best thing to do before you start customizing, you're going to have to customize it for each medium because each one has its own types of settings, its own little idiosyncrasies. So best thing to do, I've found, is to select the date first, because you're going to have to change that all later if you don't get the right one now. So let's say I want to put that out on Monday next week. I'll set the time. Let's go for just after midday. This is just the general description though. So you want to put in your usual general description here, and then you're going to customize it for each medium in a second. So I've popped in my description there. They do have the AI caption writer, so you can use that to change tone, rephrase, generate new captions, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to leave that for now, but you could play with that if you like that in future. So that's us got the basics in. We've got the date in. We've got a description for us. We can do some hashtag suggestions as well. So let's see, this one's around collaboration. Suggest that. Coming soon, startup, teamwork, team connection. What about podcasting? That's what we're suggesting. We're growing right now. So podcasting life. Podcast life, podcaster, they all work quite nicely for us. I'll pop them in. So quite nice having that little tool to help you with a few hashtags, but likely if you're working with an existing audience, you'll know them pretty well yourself. Let's go now to customize. So customize lets us actually change this to the right ones for each one. So hashtags as an example, there's probably some specific hashtags for each platform, particularly things like TikTok. TikTok has its own podcast talk, and you've got Instagram also has its own kind of really specific ones too, so you might want to put in some particular hashtags for that. But most commonly the thing I change is I actually make the description a bit shorter. I've just put in a test description here really, but More often than not, you'll want a short description for Threads and Twitter because that's kind of, you're limited there. Whereas with LinkedIn, you can go a bit longer. You want to put a bit more detail in there to engage with your audience. Maybe similar with YouTube Shorts and TikTok if you want to add a little bit more detail, some links, things like that. Some platforms, links work nicely and others they don't. So this is where you're starting to customize just a little bit. But generally, I don't change too much. YouTube does ask for a couple more settings, so it does have the visibility one. Do you want it to go public straight away, or are you publishing unlisted here? The point of scheduling, obviously, is generally you're going to make it go public. And the difference as well is that it looks for a title. So in this one, I want to put a title, and then you can add tags in there below as well. So that's really the biggest differences. And now we can schedule these 7 posts. You can obviously save them as a draft as well if you want to do some more work with them in future. But let's schedule them and see how that looks on the calendar. So here's a potential week all scheduled up to promote our podcast. We've got 3 clips in here, one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. And every one of them is going out to all 7 of our channels. And that's only taken me maybe, 5 minutes for the actual technical part, like scheduling it, another 15 for the writing. I've used Claude to help with that writing as well. Look in the description for more on that, on how I use Claude projects for that. I've got writing samples in there, so I can just pop the transcription from the clip into that project and it writes it pretty well in my voice. It takes a bit of editing though still, so 20 minutes maybe total though for that whole process, and I've got my week's worth of promotions set up there. You can also do a list and see what's coming up, scheduled by date. You can see the dates on the right there, or you can go to week and see a bit more detail. The other way you can do it is to filter by medium. So if I click on just one of the profiles, let's say the TikTok one, just there, that isolates just TikTok posts. And then I can select them back by just ticking up the top. I do like the note feature as well. If you right click anywhere on the calendar, you can create a note, and that just lets you put in something, a reminder for yourself. Make what would it be, birthday post here, for example, if there's something time-based, or maybe it's something that you want your team to be able to see as well. I like the fact on this page as well, you've got a little filter here which defaults to unused, so I can see that these bits of media are ones that I've not actually posted anywhere yet. I've uploaded them to the library, but I've not posted them, so they're waiting to be scheduled in. So I can really easily just tick one, create a post, and make sure I get everything out there on time. Now, a cool little feature to show you here is in the media library. You can actually collect in media from other sources quite nicely here. So from Instagram particularly, if we go into tags, we can see where we've been tagged in. So these are all posts that I've been tagged in the past. If I click on one of those, I can actually add that clip to my library. Go to library. And that has been added into my media library. So it's drawn in that clip that I can then repost and credit the person that's tagged me, obviously. So if you're going to be using other people's media, obviously you want to be crediting them. Make sure if you need permission, get in there and get that permission. But this is a really nice way to collect together that media to reuse. Similar for mentions. If you've had any mentions recently, you can do that as well. Search by profile. So if you want to actually start to share some other people's media. So for example, we're going to the podcast show next week. So here's their profile. I can go in here. Maybe I want to re-promote one of their posts. I can go into one, pick it, and go to add to library. And I can actually add all of this to my library to be able to reuse myself. And similar with hashtags as well. So podcast life. We can see what's in there. And you can get, 2 out of 30? Yeah, so you get 30 searches there. So you can then reuse a lot of those posts as well, obviously crediting the people you're taking them from. So it gives you a good place to canvas for different types of content. Obviously, this is mainly based around Instagrammers. So if you use Instagram heavily, this might be a good tool for you. Otherwise, potentially not. Right, let's look at the rest of the tool now. So you've got conversations. Later is good at helping you manage those comments, those conversations. Primarily, again, it's Instagram and TikTok here. So you can see comments on both your TikTok videos and your Instagram videos. So you can now have a look at your DMs in here, particularly in Instagram and Facebook. Whether you want to trawl through the spam, usually getting both, or not, it's up to you, but we can see that both there if you want to have a look at them. Another thing I'm quite enjoying around later is the analytics. So you can obviously get these analytics separately in each of the platforms, but it's quite nice having them all in one place. So I can see how many posts I've done in the last little while, how many followers I have right now, how many I'm following. You can narrow it down to different date ranges, look kind of long term and see how things are going. Or if it's just a month, you can check the graph, see how your performance is. And one thing I like the most is the best performing posts. So you can have a look and see what type of posts are doing well on your profile. Obviously gives you a good steer on what you should be doing more of, what you should be doing less of. You can dig into audience details. You've got post performance here. That's more around which posts are doing well, reels, stories, hashtags. And you can see it's not something I've done a lot of work on here, but if you complete your profile, it can start to show you the types of hashtags you could or should be using in your industry. And that's just Instagram. So if I go over to TikTok, for example, it'll start to show our views, profile views, post performance here as well. If I look back over the last 3 months, you'll be able to see all of your posts there. This is obviously just an account set up very recently, so we're not seeing a lot of detail here, but once you've started to use it, that'll all start to populate. Twitter. One thing is a shame they don't get the LinkedIn statistics either. That's one of the ones I use the most, and that's the one I primarily play around with, along with YouTube. So the stats for the platforms that I use the most, which is YouTube and LinkedIn, are not in here. But if you're more of a social animal in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and the like, this could be a really useful thing for you. Let me show you the link in bio section, because this can be really useful for quite a few people. If you don't already have a LinkedIn bio type tool set up like Linktree or similar, this is something that comes free with Later. Now, this is on all packages, I believe. Let me just check that. Yep, so you get a link in bio page on the starter package, and then it moves up from there. So you have this on every package. And what you can do is you can just set up a little page, which is really good on mobile, that you can then share with anyone. You can put it in your link in your bio, obviously. So all of your social medias, maybe this is the link you promote, and it takes them towards all of your resources. So you can include things like a carousel towards a couple of articles or resources. These are actually email sign-up pages for us. You can include a YouTube link, so you can showcase some of your YouTube channel. You've got proper buttons, call to actions. So that's another course that we run as well. And you can include social media profiles too. So this is actually a carousel from TikTok, I believe. So you can include those kind of things too, as well as just links to anything. So websites or anything you want to include, you can pop in here. So really nice little tool, actually. Fair bit of customization, quite a few different templates. You can change the image background, all that kind of stuff. You can see some analytics on this as well. And they do have this affiliate link partnership with Mavely as well. So you can more easily put your affiliate links in there. Well, you can include any affiliate links in here as links anyway. So it's a nice little tool here, a nice little bonus that you get. It can be really useful for engaging people and sending them towards more of your great content or resources or products. Funnily enough, talking about going to a real life event next week, I'm going to be using this as my primary contact. So I'm going to have a QR code on my phone, and anytime I meet somebody in person at the event, I'm going to direct them towards this using that QR code, because I can then recommend whichever resource here that they should go and check out first. The creator home is an interesting one here. They've got a marketplace where you can actually start to collaborate with brands. So you would sell your services, your sponsorship services, to actually work with brands in this place. So as it says here, you can join the marketplace, you can list yourself, show the types of profiles you have, the channels you have, and see if you can get yourself some extra sponsorships. So can't say I've tried this one yet, but helps you set up a few different things, including your media kit, set up your stats here. It actually helps you create that much more easily because it actually has so many of your analytics, so many of your posts. It can, really nice thing here that it showcases some of your posts that did really well. And it does that automatically, obviously. Then you go to find campaigns. We have to get started first, have to set up that profile to be able to find those campaigns. So I've quickly set that up here. You can see that it now lists me, shows all the channels I'm on. If I go to campaigns, you can start to see what kind of things are available. So what do we have? We've got stuff like promoting a apartment complex, a few different things, Rice Select survey, Jamba, is that a juice? Some edible arrangements for Father's Day. So there's lots of things here that we could start to apply for, potentially get paid for. And loads of details here as well, so we can tell whether it's something that suits your audience, which is obviously the most important part. I like the fact they've got loads of detail in here actually around what to include, do's and don'ts, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, really interesting one there that might help you find a partnership. I've also got a video, so if you want to check out more on this, I've got a video on the channel, our YouTube channel, which is around passion fruit. So passion fruit is not a fruit, it is a fruit, but it's also a tool, which is a marketplace for brand deals like this. You can list yourself on passion fruit. I found it really useful actually. So go and check it out in our YouTube channel. Just click the channel, search at the top of our channel for passion fruit, spelt F-R-O-O-T, and a link to it as well here, and a little card. So one way that Later's built in AI as well is around coming up with ideas, content ideas. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that it comes up with here. We've got our brand description in here, so I've told them exactly what we do. Now it's generated 3 free ideas here. We have to use credits to do this. You've got 30 credits per month on the package I'm in. So 1 credit is used each time. And what's some ideas here? Podcasting tips and tricks, success stories, behind the scenes, educational resources. So I like the fact that it's categorizing. I can get it to do, let's generate some ideas for behind the scenes as an example while I look through these ones. So quick tips, video series, create a series of short engaging video, specific aspects. So it's quite general really there, the idea, but still a wee bit of a prompt. Infographic, podcast setup checklist. So an infographic that outlines a podcast setup like that, live Q&A sessions. So behind the scenes, we've got day in a life of a podcaster, behind the scenes setup tour, coaching call sneak peek. I like these as very simple prompts. So we've done most of these as it is because we've been creating content for a long time, but especially if you're a new content creator, some of these could be nice little prompts to maybe give you some ideas on what to do that particular day. And I'm sure if I got into more detail here, put in a little bit more in the description, I might get some more detailed ones as well. But yeah, nice little tool to have there, included in the package. One of the particular reasons that I chose Later to use for our own social media is the fact that it offers social groups as opposed to charging by the profile. So most social media schedulers will charge you by how many profiles you upload. So you can see here I've got seven profiles uploaded or linked in. So generally that would be up in the second tier at least with any social media scheduling, because it tends to be about 5 is the kind of first tier. But we use pretty much all of them. We're posting video to just about everywhere, and you can repurpose that just about anywhere. So since I'm doing it, and it's not really any extra work to do it through Later, I wanted to set up a profile on every single one. But we also run a few other brands as well. So I do some personal content, some golfing content as an example, and I wanted to use it for that too. But adding in another 4 profiles, so that would make it up to 11, that actually tends to push you towards really high level tiers on most of the other tools. So with something like Buffer, for example, you're paying per profile. So it's like 6 per profile. So that pushes it up to a fairly high price. And a lot of the other ones are similar. But Later only charges you for the lowest tier, you get a full social profile. So you can add one of every single channel for that one. So I could get up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you include Pinterest and Snapchat as well. So I really like the pricing model because it means that I pay for the starter tier, and if I'm just doing one brand, one channel, then I can actually link up all of the social channels that are related to it for just that. And I don't have to worry about paying more to add in which ones. And like if you're using one of the other tools, you might have to choose your top 5 priority, whatever it is. And then for the second tier up, you get 3 social groups. So I can actually work with 7 different channels, 9 different channels on my golf channel, similar for the Good Midlife channel, that kind of thing. So I can link up quite a lot of channels. I think in total that would be 9 by 3, isn't it? 27. So I could actually have 27 channels linked up here for the standard price, which is the growth price, sorry, which is 30 USD a month, which I think is really good value. So yeah, 27 profiles total. And like I say, for $16.67 on that one, now that's the yearly billing. If I make it monthly, $25 for the monthly billing. One social set, 9 profiles, which is about as good value as you get out there for this kind of tool. So I hope that helps you sort out your social media scheduling. And remember, if you're a podcaster, please do check out alitu.com. It will sort out your podcasting workflow as well. Here's a bit more about how it works. For example, in Alitu here, you can record by yourself or with a group. It cleans up any audio you upload or record automatically, including noise reduction, leveling, normalization, all that stuff. You can edit super easily, just like this, and you can edit at double speed as well if you choose. And it includes text-based editing, so you can edit just as if you're using a Word document. Music fades are taken care of with just the click of a button, and you can add files to your timeline with just a click as well. And then finally, publish with all your detail in here with the inbuilt hosting, and you can use AI to generate titles and descriptions if you want to. If you want to check it out, go over to alitu.com. That's alitu.com, and you can get a 7-day trial to give it a shot. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe to get more content creation, podcasting content to help you grow your channels. I've been Colin Gray from thepodcasthost.com. I'll talk to you next time.